Cypress Comet John, 'tis me, Our Tampa Bay from the CBS stations on Our Tampa Bay. I've had a nasty condition of psoriasis for many years, and in just 2 weeks' time, an hour a day in a hyperbaric chamber, there's new skin. It's good for a lot of other things, too.
Here's my old buddy here, okay?
How are you?
Good, good.
We are the James A. Haley VA Hospital in Tampa.
How are you doing?
I haven't seen you since the last time.
I know.
One of those all-inclusive statements. I should run for Congress. Just kidding. Introduce yourself to my two listeners.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Stephen Scott, the polytrauma director here in Tampa.
This hyperbaric therapy, rather extraordinary.
Yes, it's on the many ways the cutting edge of medicine, and that's a lot of time what wartime brings. Cutting edge aspects of medicine forward, so that we could basically make sure that we treat not only our present people properly and with the best of care, but also it opens up the field for the whole country.
I'm at James A. Haley VA Hospital in Tampa, and there was a national conference just now that was telecast, I guess, to VA hospitals across the country.
That's correct. Yeah, we had it all the way from California to New England, to Texas, and to here in Florida, multiple sites, so probably over 30 sites around the country that this was broadcast to.
Are you doing this here?
Yes, we want to learn more about it, and I think we've been limited on how much we've been doing it so far, and because it's such a cutting edge, we have to bring expertise in and learn more about it for our practitioners, for our therapists, for everyone, and so that we could better know how to utilize it for the present people we serve as well as future ones.
The expert is standing next to me, and the next voice my two listeners will hear is his.
Dr. Paul Harch. I'm a clinical associate professor at LSU School of Medicine, New Orleans, and I have a private practice in New Orleans where I've been treating chronic brain injury now for 20 years.
Why is this such a... I mean, people know about it, but they don't know about it. And if it were widely known, I suspect the average person on the street would be mad as hell that it's not available to everyone right here, right now, today.
You're exactly right. And why it's not known is a very long and unsavory story. But it has to do with a few things. Number one is an attitude in medicine and science that there's nothing you can do for a brain injury, and that brain cells are either living or dead. There's no intermediate state. So the entire neurology profession is based upon this concept that we don't have a good intervention or therapy for brain injury of essentially any type. The second thing is that the experience with this years ago became politicized within the hyperbaric medical societies, and as a result of the way it was handled, it was disparaged and subsequently suppressed, despite the scientific evidence and the argument that was there. And the final problem is that hyperbaric oxygen has been misunderstood by an entire generation of doctors. And that's got to do partly with the hyperbaric medicine specialty. We have not had an adequate definition of hyperbaric oxygen therapy to give to the rest of the medical profession. And the result of that has been a misunderstanding and a misperception, and such that when I was in medical school in 1976 to 1980 at Johns Hopkins, my senior resident in medicine told me that this was a totally fraudulent therapy. It took me 8 years later, when I'm finally now seeing divers and understanding that this hyperbaric treatment had profound effects on physiology and pathophysiology, that there was a place for this in other areas of medicine.
And that's the important part of this. We're talking now in this moment about brain and spine. However, it is applicable for virtually every type of disease?
Very possibly. And I've got to be careful about that, because people want to brand it a cure-all. It is not. But it is a very, very powerful therapy that is aimed at the injury processes and disease processes under a very wide spectrum of human disease.
And the important point, and again, I understand it cures nothing. However, that oxygen within the system allows the body's natural mechanisms to function and to repair itself more efficiently.
Yes, it stimulates repair, and it does it by a variety of different mechanisms. And I made one little, I cut myself short there. I said for disease processes in humans. It's true of animals too. And just very quickly, my children's German Shepherd dog was acutely paralyzed from a herniated disc 3 weeks ago.